One of the greatest slams just happened on this Fight Night card. Man, sometimes you get these gems on these cards that don't seem as stacked as other ones, but man, this might be the knockout of the year. Elijah Smith in the bantamweight division just knocked out Toshiomi Kazama in the first round with a powerbomb, slammed them into the canvas, head clash to go with it, then 2 ground and pound punches after. Rampage would be proud because that's exactly the way he did it. Full elevated powerbomb, head clash, and then 2 ground and pound shots. You gotta get into 2 punches in traditional Rampage style, and we know he's gonna talk about this one as there's not a lot of power bombs in the UFC, and especially from a bantamweight, a 135-pound fighter, lifting his opponent up and slamming them for the knockout. It's gonna be tough to top that performance of the night right there for this Fight Night card, but man, that was a brutal knockout. Like, that has to be knockout of the year. We don't see a lot of power bombs like that in MMA, let alone in the UFC. The closest powerbomb to that was when Matt Hughes knocked out Carl Newton, but it was slightly different because he was holding Newton up against the fence, and when Hughes lifted up Newton, he walked him to the fence first. He didn't just powerbomb him in one motion, the way Smith and Rampage did, right? Smith and Rampage lifted them up and slammed them to the ground WWE style. But the thing was, this is also somewhat different than the Rampage slam because Rampage was anchoring both of his arms with Arona's left hand, and Arona never let go. That was the reason why Rampage was able to lift him up the way he did. If Arona let go of his hand, he wouldn't have been slammed the way he was. So Rampage lifted him up that way and just slammed him with the same position. Smith switched it up though to execute the slam, put his hand onto the neck of Kazama on the way down to push his head into the canvas with all of his body weight. Kazama could have also defended this by simply hooking his arm under one of the legs. That totally eliminates being powerbombed or lifted for the slam and allows him to continue his choke while his opponent is exerting energy trying to lift him up. And that actually makes the triangle choke even more difficult to get out of, right? Because if they're trying to lift and slam, they're getting deeper into the choke. But Kazama didn't go for that one hook that would have kept him in the fight. And all 3 of these powerbomb examples had the opponent making the same mistake of focusing on the choke rather than defensively eliminating a potential slam by getting in one of those hooks so they can't elevate them. Now, the thing about this slam is, for both Elijah Smith and Rampage Jackson, there was a head clash on the way down, and it absolutely is impactful, like 100%. With your forehead, you're going straight down into the face of the opponent as you slam them into the mat. That absolutely contributes to the knockout, 100%. Now, they're not purposely trying to headbutt them, but it seems like it's tough to avoid the head clash if you're slamming them like that because you're slamming them down. Your entire body is also meeting the canvas, but they're in front of you. Right? It's very difficult to not thrust your head forward because they are using all of their strength. So it's a part of the slam, I guess, but that is something to point out. Not saying that it should be a no contest or disqualification or something like that, but it seems like this head clash is mostly going to happen whenever someone's power bombing like that. Kazama was out cold from the slam itself. He didn't need the 2 extra punches after that. He was literally laid out flat, and Elijah Smith most likely knew the guy was unconscious, and he just wailed him twice. But it seems like it's Rampage tradition. It's the Rampage style if you slammed them, as Rampage did it himself too. 2 punches on the unconscious Arona to end the fight. It's fair, you know, the referee forgot that he was the one that was supposed to stop the fight. I mean, look at the ref just standing there. He's like thinking the entire time, wow, he's going for a powerbomb. Wow, looks like he's out. Someone should stop this fight. Oh wait, that's me. Starts huffing and puffing as he's confusingly just sprinting around them for some reason. When the referee sees Kazama lifted up to the sky in a powerbomb, he sees the guy's elevated and should be like, okay, I might have to step in here, let's see. And then after the powerbomb, the referee's just standing there, giving Elijah Smith so much time to land 2 full power right hooks to the face before the referee steps in. Ref, where were you this whole time? You were literally right next to them when it happened. Powerbomb, head clash, guy's unconscious. Referee's running around them. He's literally circling around them. Elijah Smith gets 1 hook in there. Full power to the jaw, man. That is brutal, dude. The guy's unconscious still. The punch does not wake him up. The ref is still circling around them for some reason instead of pulling Elijah Smith off of him. 2nd right hook lands. Ref is now stepping in there. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You were right next to Elijah Smith. You could have just pulled him off him when he was standing up after the powerbomb. The guy was clearly unconscious. Why is he doing a 200-meter sprint around Kazama instead of pulling Elijah Smith off of him when he was on the same side? He goes around to the opposite side to push him away. Come on, dude. Why are you going to the opposite side to stop the fight when you could have just done it from where you originally were at? And it would have been easier too. That made no sense. Hopefully Kazama's alright, man, because that was a brutal knockout. Winded up punches after, and those shots were more devastating than what Rampage hit Arona with because Rampage was still on top of Arona in the full guard. Elijah Smith was standing up to the side of the head and just started wailing at his head, man. But ultimately, it's a great win for Elijah Smith. It's going to be one of the biggest highlights of his career. What do you guys think about the knockout? What do you guys think about the stoppage from the referee? Him daydreaming and then confusingly just starts sprinting around them to stop the fight for some reason? And how far do you see Elijah Smith going at bantamweight? And I'll see you guys in the next video.